Right, hello everyone and welcome to this new video on the channel. So today I'm going to be reacting to my championship predictions that I did before the season started. So have I done absolutely fantastic or have I made a right blunder of it? Let's get into the video and find out. So this is the third lot of predictions that I've reacted to. I've already reacted to my League 2 and Premier League predictions. So if you want to check them out, they're already on the channel. So go over and have a look. And if you're not subscribed yet, maybe consider pressing that red button. So this is going to work on a points basis. So how it's going to work is the aim is to get the least amount of points possible. So if you get a team's prediction spot on, you're going to get 0 points. And then for wherever you predict a team, for however many places they finish away from that, you're going to get that many points. So for example, if I pick a team to finish in 16th and they finish in 14th, you're going to get 2 points. So you'll see somewhere on the screen my predicted table. So you'll have the team in there, and then just to the right, you'll have where they actually finished, and then the difference in the places. So if I've got a plus next to the difference in places, that means I've finished higher than I thought. If I've got a minus, that's how many they've finished lower. So if you did some predictions for yourself, then feel free to play along using this scoring system. If you have, let me know in the comments how you did. Let me know your best and worst predictions. So I'm going to show you mine right now. So we're going to start with the teams that I predicted to go down to League One. So how have I got on? Bit of a mixed bag here, to be fair. I'm not disappointed with the teams I picked. I'd still pick the same teams again because I couldn't see anyone else other than these three teams going down. But obviously Reading I got spot on in 22nd. Then I had Birmingham finishing second bottom in 23rd. They ended up finishing 17th. And then I had Rotherham finishing in 24th and they finished 19th. So not too disappointed if out of them two teams have proven me wrong, and I've had a very good season for them for staying up. Rotherham, like I say, they're up and down most years between Championship and League One, so I thought it'd be the same again. I thought with how strong the Championship is this year, they'd really struggle. And Birmingham as well, they have a lot of off-the-field issues as well as on the field, and I thought it'd be too much for them and they will be going down to League One. Also, for same Reading, they've looked poor for a few years now, and I thought I'd finally catch up to him, and especially with Paul Ince, I don't really rate him as a manager, and I thought they'd go down, but they were looking like not going down at one point, and then they got that 6-point deduction, and luckily for me, that made it that I got it spot on because it would have been Cardiff instead if not. Next up, we're going for the teams between 21st to 17th, so the teams were at risk of relegation but managed to survive, so let's have a look. And straight away you can see there that the two teams that joined Reading in the relegation zone were the two teams I had just above the drop zone. So yeah, not the best there. Blackpool I thought would be in a bit of trouble, especially with Neil Critchley gone, and I thought, you know, it'd be tough for him, and it ended up showing. I think if Wigan had had the points deduction as well, they would have finished bottom of the league. And then speaking of Wigan, like I say, they just won League One last year. A lot of ownership problems had happened since then, and it's been a tough season for Wigan. You know, they're a good club. I went to them about April this year, and I loved my time there. It was a really, really good club. So it's a shame to see him in this situation, but I hope we pull out of it. I can have a strong season next year in League One. To be fair, with both Bristol City and Preston, it was one of them teams where it's quite hard to predict with them. Like, you know, anywhere around the middle table. Like, I don't think we were going to be in contention for playoffs. And I didn't think we'd be in any trouble of going down. So it was kind of difficult where to put these two. So I just bonked them in 19th and 18th, to be honest with you. And yeah, they were a bit further out than that. Bristol City, like I say, finishing 14th, and then Preston finishing in 12th. So I underestimated both of them teams a bit. Huddersfield have let me off the mark big time here. I thought we were going to lose a lot of points because it was looking like they were certain of going down. And then obviously Neil Warnock comes in and saves them, and they climbed up to 18th. So thank you, Neil Warnock. Thank you very much. You've saved me a lot of points there. I've only got the 1 point for that because I predicted them in 17th and they finished in 18th. So next up we have the rest of the bottom half. So how have I done here? Yeah, there's a lot of poor ones in here. A lot of very, very poor ones in here that I'm not happy with at all. We're going to start off with the obvious one, which is Luton, which is my biggest in the Championship, plus 13, because obviously I had them 16th and they finished in 3rd. I just thought we would have a drop-off from last year. I thought it was going to be one of them seasons where they had a really good season, they had a lot of momentum, and obviously missed out on playoffs, and then They dropped off a bit, but they've proved me and a lot of people wrong by getting promotion to the Premier League. So can't wait to see football, Premier League football at the Kenny next year. That should be really good to see, like your likes of City and Chelsea going there. But congratulations to Luton, and you've given me my biggest points difference in the Championship and the second most in all of them. I've not had my biggest one yet. You'll have to wait and see which that is in League One. And straight after Luton, we have another big one, which is Sunderland, who I predicted in 15th, and obviously there you got the last playoff place in 6th. And I thought I would have been quite nice to me. I thought they'd do quite well, but I know a lot I'd admire as well. I probably should have put them higher, but you just never know with that first season in Championship, because it's such a tough league and over a massive club, and a club I have a soft spot for after living in Sunderland for 5 years. But yeah, it was a really tough one to pick where Sunderland. To be fair, with all these middle teams, I changed the position so many times. But yeah, they ended up in 15th, and they've cost me a lot of points there. So really racking up the points now. And speaking of racking up the points, the run continues with Blackburn Rovers. End up finishing 7th. I predicted them in 14th. And then Cardiff obviously finished just above the relegation zone in 21st. Could have gone down if it weren't for Reading's points deduction, and they have cost me 8 points there. So that little section there has been a hefty one. So hopefully I can have some damage limitation with the top half. So I've got the top half next. I'm going to split it straight down the middle. We're going to go for the teams that finished in the top half, but didn't quite make the playoffs. So as you can see, you've got a bit of a mixed bag here. So we're going to start off with Hull City. So I do quite a few drafts of these before I make my final one, which is roughly as close as I can before the season starts. And at the one, I had Hull in 8th until the very last one, where I put them down to 12th. And I'm glad I did, because they finished in 15th. And I'd have got a lot more points if I'd have put them in 8th. But yeah, I've done a bit of damage limitation there by picking Hull in 12th. Well, lost 3 points, gained 3 points, sorry, for that. And then Stoke, always a tough one to predict where Stoke are going to finish. And I had a bit too much faith in them, I think, because we finished 16th. I put them 11th, but they had an awful run at the end of the season, and I know a lot of people predicted them higher than they actually finished. And yeah, you know what Stoke are like. They're always going to be mid-table somewhere. It's just whereabouts they're going to finish. So a very tough one to judge with Stoke. So, I'm not going to complain too much about that one. Coventry. I apologise to Coventry. But to be fair, I thought I would have been nice to Coventry. I thought 10th were pretty reasonable, and because I thought they'd do well, but obviously they've been absolutely fantastic and very, very nearly, other than a penalty shootout, made it to the Premier League. It's a shame that we didn't make it, but we've had a really fantastic season. And Mark Robins does a superb job. I think he's been with him all the way from when we won the playoffs in League Two, so a fantastic job he's done. So yeah, I'm sure they'll be strong again next year, Coventry. So it's going to be interesting, see if we can keep all the players and see if we can have just as good a season next year. I've got another big points total here. Bloody QPR. Cheers, Mickey Beale, for leaving. So Beale left, and then obviously they've just fell down the table. Gareth Ainsworth's not done brilliant, and they finished in 20th. And I watched them against Wigan, and I said straight away after that, we're still a few points away from the drop zone, but I said I think they're going down. They looked awful. I just weren't impressed with him at all. They've got a lot of work to do, because I know they're going to, a lot of people are tipping them to go down to League One next year. They've got to put the work in. They've got to really sort the sends out, because, they could be in big trouble if they don't. And now moving on to my only other spot-on prediction, which is Millwall. We're always going to finish around that sort of place. And luckily, Blackburn scored them 4 goals in the game against them to help me out a bit and get them in an 8th place finish. Because, like I say, it looked like we're going to get playoffs, and they've looked like that for a few years, but they've just missed out every time. I thought this was going to be the year that they'd do it, but it wasn't the case. And then finally we have Swansea, who came in 10th, which I predicted them in 7th. Not a bad prediction here, to be fair. Like I say, it was quite tight between them positions anyway in terms of points, so could have gone either way. Like I say, Russell Martin, I quite like him as a manager. It looks like he's going to go to Southampton at the time of recording, so when this is out, he might have gone. But yeah, Swansea, another team where it's going to be interesting to see where they finish next year. All right, playoffs time now. So we're going to do 3rd to 6th of the playoff places. So let's see how I did. Not great again. This has really not been a good prediction so far. So as you can see, Burnley 6th, Sheffield United 5th, Watford 4th, West Brom 3rd. So Burnley, it was going to be really hard to see how they do, to be fair, because it's just been a complete rebuild, which is what it is a lot of times when you leave the Premier League. And Dyche's been sacked as well, so we had to adapt to a completely different way of playing. Like I say, a lot of new players, a new manager in Vincent Kompany. So there were a lot of what ifs, and I didn't have a clue. I thought they'd do all right, but I didn't think they'd get promoted. But no, I've absolutely smashed it. 101 points. Absolutely flying. So fair play to Burnley. Well done. I watched the first game of the season against Huddersfield on TV, and I thought they're going to be a decent team. And they've really pulled it together. They've only lost 3 all season, and they've looked absolutely fantastic. Well-deserved champions. So congratulations to Burnley. Sheffield United next, and these were a tough one to pick as well. As soon as I submitted my predictions, I thought I probably should have put Sheffield United higher. And yeah, I wish I did. Because, yep, they came in second, obviously, and I promoted to the Premier League. I knew they'd do well, but I underestimated them a bit. And, yeah, deserve the points I'm getting for that. Watford, a lot of them put them in second, so I've not lost a lot of points as a lot of people. I had them in 4th, but they finished on 11th. Not a good year for Watford at all, especially with coming down from the Premier League. A lot of people expected them to bounce straight back up, which they haven't done. And like I say, gone through a fair few managers: Rob Edwards, Slaven Bilic, Chris Wilder. So yeah, and they've got the most expensive wage budget in the Championship, so they'll have wanted to do a lot better than they did. And West Brom, they've lost the parachute payments now after being in the Championship for 2 years, so that's going to really hit them, I'm sure. So like I say, next year they're going to be desperate to get up, or they're going to be in big trouble, because, you know, that parachute money is vital. It's vital that you use it right, and they've not been able to get out of the division. So yeah, let's see how West Brom do next year after a 9th place finish this year. And to round off these predictions, we've got the top 2, so let's have a look. So there we are. Yeah, Middlesbrough in 2nd and Norwich in 1st. I think a lot of people did think Middlesbrough would have a good season, and that was with Chris Wilder in charge, and then he got sacked. Michael Carrick came in and he completely turned it around. And it looked like they could have got 2nd, but no, they ended up in 4th. But yeah, a lot better season than it could have been, because they were down at the bottom, really struggling at one point, but they managed to turn it around. So fair play to Borough, and they'll be wanting to kick on next year, and I think they could be a strong team next year, to be fair. And Norwich, yeah, it's been a weird one with Norwich, hasn't it? Because I thought, like I say, I thought they'd win it pretty comfortably, but they ended up not even in the top half. They did come top, but that was top of the bottom half of the table, finishing in 13th. So yeah, poor season for the Canaries, a really poor season. Let's see what we do in terms of players, because like I say, we've got a lot of players from that Premier League squad, so a lot of them will probably be leaving now. It'll be the final year parachute payments as well, so it's going to be interesting to see how they spend that money, if they're going to be able to capitalise on it, and if they're going to be able to get themselves back in the Premier League. So that is my Championship predictions done, so I guess the final thing to do is to see how I did. So my final score was 128 points, which is not good at all. That is not good. I'm not happy with that at all. I saw a video ranking 16 other people who've done their Championship predictions based on these points, and if I'd have put myself in that table, I'd have come second bottom. So not a good one at all from me, but there were a few surprises, to be fair, and I've had a few stinkers, especially with Luton and Norwich especially. But yeah, that's my Championship ones. League One ones will be up soon, but yeah, if you want to check out the Premier League 2 ones, they'll be on my channel. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. We're edging closer to 800 and we're on the road to 1,000 subs, so let's make it happen as soon as possible. But take care, and I'll see you all later.